Oh shit. Okay, alright. Oh, how's everyone doing today? Today we're gonna be playing Final Fantasy XIV. Today is Tuesday, which means the server reset. Today is also Tuesday with the TWOS day because it's February 22nd, 2022. Hope everybody's been doing well. Go warm up a little. And the way we do that is we first start with expert. Hope everyone's doing well and enjoying their day today. Hey T Leo, thank you for coming in. And how are you doing? Happy Tuesday with the TWOS for 2. Because it's all 2s. Well, yeah. I'm feeling the tiredness sometimes too. A lot of people at work called out today. They weren't able to come in, so, you know, I had to work a little bit harder for their behalf. Hopefully they'll buy me coffee or something. I think that will be an even trade. I like coffee after all. Honestly, like, if the people at work would just buy me lunch every single day and like just feed me all the time, I don't mind doing it. Like I pulled extra shifts and stuff. It's like, hey, can you cover me for lunch? Sure. Are you bringing me back something for lunch? It better not be like cheap food. And usually, you know, they bring me back something pretty awesome, like a barbecue plate or something cool. Like, it's definitely not something that's under $10. And every time I help them out, it's like, I'm gonna get fed well today. Wave to the pugs and say hi. It's okay to be drunk. I'm a warrior. Oh yeah. For a while, so during the first days of the pandemic, when it was really bad, they basically let us go home early. because they didn't want us to stay in the hospital and get exposed. And that was our working from home, and it was the best thing ever. We basically came into the hospital at 7, and we left at like 12 after all the schedule patients been done, and it was just awesome. Part of me wish we can go back to those days. Now, obviously, working at a hospital, working from home is not exactly. It doesn't come natural. But I must admit, it's been a while since I went anywhere that's not my house, the hospital, and Costco. Like, for 2 years, I have not gone anywhere. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why I started raising ducks and started farming on my property, because I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna spend so much goddamn time in my own house on my property, I might as well do something with it. And which is why I was like, yeah, let's start a farm. Let's just basically start a farm. But you know, being able to interact with patients every day and co-workers, I definitely don't feel any lack of human interaction. But I understand, at least, especially when I see it in Twitter, I'm just like, man, some of these people really need human interaction. Because you can see that their mental health suffers for it. You know, that's one thing that they tell you. I never done the training, but all my friends that went to like torture training, basically, it's basically training that where you get tortured, so you know what to do when you get tortured. Military stuff, you know. Scary as fuck, but yeah. Basically, it's a training in a controlled environment where they torture you and try to make you give up information and you're not supposed to, and they teach you how to resist stuff like that. Apparently, isolation was like one of the most brutal ways they try to get to you. And yeah, they would just put you into like a dark closet and stuff, and you're just alone, and they'll deprive you of light, and like they'll make it so that it's not as whatchamacallit, what am I saying? Not as basically, you can't hear stuff either, and you start having, at least they tell me that they start having like hallucinations and shit. But yeah, so apparently isolation is like really, it is really important for people to have social interactions. Now, can I verify those things? No, I can't. Oh, I never, it's just hearsay. Never done it. Let's see, what else did I hear? But yeah. Something like that would scare me out of my wits. Yeah, that is fucking crazy. And you know, nowadays when I go on and look at the news, I'm like, boy, I'm glad I'm not in service anymore. I can work my civilian job in peace. And in 6 years, I'll be 36, and I won't be able to be drafted anymore. Fingers crossed. So I don't know if you've seen the duck stream, but I over the weekend I redid some of the fencing. So normally I just I was just going to spread the net and to prevent them from going to over to the crop side temporarily. And I was like, yeah, you know, once the crop grows tall enough, I won't have to worry about the ducks eating them, and it'll be fine. But I had this one duck that kept on. I don't know how she was doing it, because I had the net nailed down pretty good, but she would always be able to sneak to the other side. So I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna permanently move their fence line over to the side, and if they need to graze to the other side to free range, then they can do it under my supervision. So I seized their land. Their little plot of run space is now 33% of what it actually was. But that's okay. They'll forgive me for it. After all, I feed them. But something that came out of it was that they now come up to the camera a lot more because well, they don't like hanging out in the back. So now the camera can kind of see them better, and it's a better camera angle overall. So I kind of like that. I also did them a favor, and I redid the shading, and now the shade covers more area, and they can rest in the shade more comfortably. And closer to the camera too. More incentive for them to come closer to the camera. Well, he is dead. But yeah, I feel like the duck stream is a really, really nice just project overall. One of my greatest achievements, if I may say so myself. Ouch! So what's the point of this raid? I don't even know. It's to shut down like a security system for like a entertainment system for like the moon rabbits or something. But I'm just here to grab the tomestones because the tomestones reset every Tuesday and I can collect more and I can get gear for it. Because I don't have anybody to do like the really challenging raid tiers with me. I can only do I do this to basically keep up with my gear. That and while I enjoy playing Final Fantasy XIV, I also enjoy playing other games. So I'm not as devoted. I don't know why I get this one a lot. It is my favorite one though. And the story's significance is not as much. Like there's not much story in it. It's just a dungeon for you to basically grind through. But that's nice. You can't always have serious raids and gun dungeons all the time. One of the quirky ones is... quirky ones are fine too. Alright, so we go on the arrows show how far the explosive is going to go on the conveyor belt, and you just move accordingly to avoid it. It's always going to be one near, one far, and you just alternate. And he drops a mine, so I'm going to be on this side. The mine faded, so I can be on this side again. Sometimes it doesn't fade, and that's when you get like the really finicky like stuff. Usually I don't leave melee distance because I can take a stack and not really worry about it because I'm a tank, so I can take debuff stacks. And more importantly, is important to me, anyways, is DPS uptime. Okay. I don't think there's going to be any events in both Actually, Blue Archive, I think it's getting a new banner, but that's just a new banner. I don't think it's getting a new event or anything. And Genshin Impact, I kind of finished the event early. So it's only... This is the So I only have this to worry about, which is the pet. 99! I rolled 99 on the pet. Hells yeah! I got the pet. Hey Walker, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. We're playing Final Fantasy XIV. We're just grinding out some weekly tomes. But yeah, what was I talking about? Since there's nothing really going on Blue Archive, as well as Genshin Impact, because we basically finished off 2.5 already. This is well, this will be partially the focus, but once I finish the weekly grind for the tomestones, which takes me like 2 days, which is one day on stream and the other day I'll probably do it off stream because I'm not sure if it's really that interesting to watch me just you know, grind out the roulettes individually. But the other stuff we'll do is probably Age of Empires 2. I still have not finished all of the Age of Empires 2 campaigns, and I would like to do that. I really would like to do the Age of Empires 2 campaigns. Walker's here, so I can say this, but Age of Empires 2 is good, and I bought Age of Empires 4. I played Age of Empires 4 and I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I actually like it more than Age of Empires 2. I think the game plays better, like the controls are a little bit better, and there are some quality of life additions that I do like, but I feel like the game is not as well supported, the community is not quite there, and the game itself needs a lot of polish. It is a good game. I don't know if I should have paid $60 for it. It felt like I got a $40 game. Yes, there's an Age of Empires 4. It came out late last year. I think in November. And it's I actually quite like it. I enjoy playing it, but there is a lot of stuff that Relic needs to do before it can overtake Age of Empires 2, in my opinion. Which, it might never may take Age of Empires 2, because, frankly, the campaigns in Age of Empires 4 are just not as, it doesn't excite you as much as Age of Empires 2. So, yeah, about 2 months ago. The storytelling is, from a more historical perspective. It's like reading a history book. Honestly, Age of Empires 3 would be my favorite if it didn't have the port system with the cards and stuff. And, you know, that was my biggest gripe with that. But otherwise, I actually quite like 3. I hope at one point they come out with the Japanese in Age of Empires 4. The reason is because I played the Yamatos in Age of Empires 1. I main Japanese in Age of Empires 2. I main Japanese in Age of Empires 3. I really kind of want to keep this streak going, you know? Give me Age of Empires 4 Japanese. I don't know if it is the right move. Look, Age of Empires 3 didn't have drop-off. You can just leave your villagers on the resource and they'll keep on collecting it. They'll chop the whole forest down and not need a lumber camp. That's awesome. But I can understand why they brought it back. All I remember is in Age of Empires 3 was just make Ashigaru Musketeers. You'll win, right? Oh crap, I forgot to strip. I forgot to take off my gear. Is it too late to take off my gear? Actually, Warrior plays better on one of the higher tier, higher level raids. If I get one, I'm not gonna complain too much. Well, wait, let me see. Is Steam up? Let's open up Steam. Age of Empires 1. Playtime 6.1 hours. Okay, I didn't sink that much time into it. Definitive edition, okay? Age of Empires 2. 233.9 hours. Age of Empires 3. 21.2 hours. Age of Empires 4. 72.3 hours. Looks like the queue died. But yeah. You know, when I first started this channel, I was just going to do... I wasn't thinking about playing Age of Empires back then, because I was into the flight simulator and stuff. But making Age of Empires, like just streaming Age of Empires, has always been on the back burner. It's a timeless activity, and it's kind of like, it's always fun. $500 hours, yeah, that's probably right. There's a lot of Age of Empires 3. Did you buy the DLCs? United States and, is it Ethiopia or the African Kingdoms DLC? The best part about Age 3 is that every civilization plays different to one another, except for the first couple. And that's because they didn't have the well, it's not that they didn't have the creativity, but... Oh, this is a good one. Void Ark is a good one. But, you know, they weren't daring enough. But once like the Native American civs came out, it was just like landslide from there. It was like all the craziness. Every civ got crazier than the next civ. So they first started with Native American civs, which are like don't play anything like the European civs. And then they brought in the Asian civs, and they play nothing like those civs either. There's new DLCs now. There's the United States DLC, and there's the African Kingdoms one. You can get I don't know this because there was a meme going around with a Gatling gun on a camel, which was a unique unit for one of the African civs. And I will always remember the Gatling camel. Because it looks so ridiculous and awesome at the same time. And I know there was one civilization in the African kingdom where the whole economy was basically sustained by, like, raising cows. Like, you can leave a cow to fatten up, and then cash it out for whatever resource that you wanted. Oh yeah, if you thought the Asian civs were wild, the African civs are absolutely wild. Oh, one more thing about H3. I don't know why, but there's a tech for the Japanese that makes their, I mean, it is a good tech, that makes their villager, it's called the Zen diet. It makes, it basically makes their villagers all cost wood instead of food. I'm like, and I'm just like, yeah, you can be vegetarian, but still, you're not eating trees. Japanese monks don't go around like fucking beavers and gnaw down trees. I still haven't realized if that's actually a good, like, tech to go into. Because I do find myself floating wood a lot more than I float food. But then again, the Japanese don't hunt, so it's not like I can run out of hunts to begin with. I think when I play the Japanese, I'm only going to make 2 units, and that is Ashigaru Musk and Flaming Arrows. All other units just don't exist. And usually that covers my ground pretty well. Sometimes I would make the Naginata riders, but I have never made samurai. I have never made samurai. Of all the time that I play Japanese, I never made samurai. But yeah, I like the fact that Age of Empires 4 has the landmark system. It's basically how the Asian dynasties age up. They build a building that gives bonuses. I really like that mechanic for aging up and not just, you know, click a button on the town center. And the fact that, you know, you don't have town center and idle time when you age up is really, really nice. I like the systems they have for Age of Empires 4. I just wish there were more single-player content. Because I really don't play online. And I don't play verse matches. So once the campaign was over, and I had my my fill of beating the AI into the ground time and time again, the novelty of the game kind of just wore off. And then I remember, hey, in H2, you know, I still had a bunch of campaigns I wanted to do. And you know what? In fact, in H3, I have a bunch of campaigns, which is actually all of them that I need to do. You know what? One of these days, I need to do streams of me playing Age of Empires 3, so I can just. Because I always was like, oh, you know what? I'll save. Every time I was about to do the campaign, I was like, you know what? I should save that for a stream. I should save that for a stream. I should save that for a stream. And I kept on putting off playing the Age of Empires 3 campaign. And I'm like, bro, one of these days I just need to do it. I just need to play it. So let's see, RTS. I started my RTS journey was in 2001. When I first came to the United States, my cousin, who was already living here, gave me a copy of Age of Empires 1. And that's what I played for quite a long time. And after, I think, the next Christmas, I started playing Age of Empires 2. I begged my parents to buy it for me. After that, after realizing I absolutely suck at Age of Empires 2 because I could never beat the computer. Oh yeah, I'll definitely stream it at some point. But yeah, let's after that was Command & Conquer Red Alert. I played Red Alert 2. I never played Red Alert 1, but I only played Red Alert 2 and Red Alert 2 Yuri's Revenge. And that was my RTS for a good while. And then I got into StarCraft in 2005, Brew War. And I played the first RTS I played competitively was StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. After that, after playing StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty, I actually self-funded myself to go to MLG. But that okay, I'll tell you the MLG story later. But yeah, I did. I played Wings of Liberty competitively for a little bit, and then after that, I went into the military service. Coming out of the military service, I played. I did not play StarCraft competitively after Wings of Liberty. I just played it for casuals. I played StarCraft 2, Heart of the Swarm, and Legacy of the Void. But only for the campaigns. And then, you know, I came back to Age of Empires 2 and 3 after I like kind of got settled down and stuff and having my boomer moments. Never competitively, just casually and enjoying it. Recently, I saw Muna from Hololive play Age of Empires 2, and I was like, holy that's an old game. That's a game that people my age play. And instantly she became one of my favorites because, well, she can appreciate a classic. Anyways, so MLG, right? So back then I went by the username Blast or Blasterian, and I funded myself to go into MLG because not because I thought I had any chance of winning. I didn't have any chance of winning because it's you know, I wasn't actually that good. I was like a diamond player, I think, at that point. I main Terran. But yeah, I went to MLG because I wanted to get into the players area. I wanted to get signatures from like all my favorite players and pros and stuff. And I thought that was awesome. So I self-funded myself as a player in the open bracket, and I got into the players area and hung out with all the players. It's kind of like me becoming a VTuber in some sense. It's like, oh, as a VTuber, I can hang out with all these VTubers, and I don't have to be just like a viewer or a fan. I can, you know, be their friend and be their equal, in a sense of the word. And that's what motivated me to go to MLG. Anyways, I did not get knocked out right away. I did not get knocked out right away. I actually won the first round. I forgot, did I win the first round and the second round, or just the first round? Because I remember... No, I think I won just the first round. Hey, I was against Protoss and I went triple Rax Terran with Stim Rush and I just killed him twice in a row. It's not like I even adjusted my... I didn't even adjust my strategy, I just did the same strategy twice and I killed him twice in a row. But that was cool. But actually I have to look this up. Let's see, MLG 2011, was it Providence? Yeah, 2011 Providence. Let me look this up in Wikipedia. Okay, opens winners bracket. If you want to take a look, I'll put it in the chat for you guys. I have to look this up. Okay. Anyways, you can see that me, Blasterium, yeah, 2-0 on the first round. On the second round, I got matched up against all-time Terran Pro, Slayer's Gonzi, protege of Slayer's Boxer, the protege of basically the person that was the #1 StarCraft 1 Brood War player of all time for quite a while. He 2-0'd me, yeah. That was a stomp. But yeah, oh yeah, I see. But yeah, I absolutely got obliterated. Then I fell into loser's bracket, rightly so. And what happened to loser's bracket again? Sorry, this is like literally more than 10 years ago. I can't remember the details. I'm literally going on reference here. Oh yeah, that's right. I fell into loser's bracket, but I found my my opponent didn't show up, so I proceeded up a bracket, and then I got 2-0'd. By David. I forgot who that guy is. Have no recollection. What did he even play? He didn't even tell me. Doesn't matter. Anyways, yeah. That was interesting. But that's my that is my MLG story, and now I can go around telling people that I was at MLG and I fought against a Korean like a world-class Korean professional pro gamer. So there's that. I think I can still remember let's see. I think both times for my my match against I guess against Gonzi, I died to Banshees. Except for the second one, I think I died to Marines. Either or, no matter. Yeah, we take defaulted wins around here. But you know, we had a lot of fun over at Providence MLG because it's like going to an anime con, except us players. Well, I wouldn't say they gave you the VIP treatment, but they sure gave you like I don't know. The audience kind of got treated like shit by the security people. At least they didn't get treated well. They were like always in lines and stuff, and you know. But you know, as players, you know, we got access to player area. We got to play on the computers. It was kind of nice. We got to talk to each other, and me and a bunch of other players just hung out. Went like after our games, we went to nice restaurants. Went to our hotel, and it was great. If I ever get a chance to, I think I'd like to experience that again. But I don't know if Age of Empires, because I don't feel like learning another RTS. Well, that's wrong. I don't feel like learning a RTS at the Age of Empires at this point. Unless it's something that really interests me. I don't know if another RTS like Age of Empires is ever going to make it to MLG ever again. And that's fine. Like Age of Empires 2 is a timeless classic. I doubt it will die in our lifetime. It still might. But I do not see any RTS that's going to surpass it anytime soon. RTS is like kind of like a dead genre. Because it is a game where you are in control of everything, and because it's 1 versus 1, any mistake, misplay, or if you lose, basically you only got yourself to blame. You can't blame like, oh, my team did not assist me here. No, you just got outplayed, and it takes a lot of humility, I guess, to accept the fact that, you know, you just got shit on. Because I realize a lot of esports or games nowadays, they're battle royales. Or they're team-based game like League of Legends, CSGO. They are team-based games. And with team-based game, obviously you have the notion of teamwork, but at the same time, you also have the excuse of saying your team did not carry their weight or something else. You know, RTS it's a one-on-one match, and it is, yeah, basically your mistakes are yours and yours alone. Huh. Petrified. But that's okay. But I do think I want to keep on playing Age of Empires. Alright, I'm gonna go. I've been talking a lot, so I'm gonna go get myself some water real quick. I'll be right back. Yeah, I'm actually not a big fan of team-based games. Because of that. At least games that I'm not playing seriously. I mean, even in Final Fantasy XIV, I play as the tank because I feel like as the tank, I have the biggest influence, I have the biggest agency whether or not the group or the encounter succeeds. And I enjoy knowing that, you know, I have a good amount of influence on whether or not this whole thing can happen. Which is why I like playing Warrior, because Warrior has the best self-healing. And I've done some pretty ridiculous carries. The healer would die, the DPS would die, and it's just me against the boss, but somehow slowly and grinding, but I still got through. Yeah. Alright, let's see what the trial is. The trial of the day. Oh, Shiva. That's a good one. Yeah, that's why I can't play those games seriously. Ooh. Age of Empires 3 now has co-op historical battles. Walker, when you get your stuff set up again, that's what we should do. We should do co-op historical battles in Age of Empires 3. Ah yes, viewing cutscene, that's right. Ouch. I love this face transition. This is my favorite part. I love this so much. Too bad she dies so fast after it. Yeah. What's next? Normal raids. What is the normal raid today? Oh, that was fast. Oh, nice. We got one of the. We got one of the raids I had to do as the random one. That means one less thing for me to do. Oh, okay. That sounds good. You have my Discord, so just hit me up and we can just plan for something. And I usually stream around this time on most days. It's kind of my relax before work kind of time. I usually do 7 to 10. And on weekends, obviously, I'm a little more flexible. Man, we need to... The two of us, we gotta work on it. We gotta bring back RTS to make it, you know, cool again. Nah, nothing so grand. Merely enjoying the moment. Teach these youngsters the glory that is, Age of Empires 2 and 3. Maybe even 4. I see. I really hope the move works out for you and you definitely get something a little more better. I have to admit, I feel like I am extremely blessed to have the job that I have now, you know, being a government worker, and prior service helped me get that. And because I went from basically jobs that you can't get fired from, or with decent treatments. You know, it's how do I want to put this? The shit that I read on Twitter every day about people and their workplaces make the army. I wasn't in the army, I was in the Navy, but basically make Army and Navy seem like godsend worker, like they seem to be like decent workplace environments compared to some of the places that I've seen people talk about on Twitter. I was like, man, they treat these people worse than they treat soldiers, and these are civilians. 100% OJ is amazing. But yeah, like, but yeah, like, the stuff that I've seen on Twitter about people and their civilian employments, and I'm just like, man, y'all make the army seem like to be such a great place to work at. It's like, oh, it's like, man, some people treat workers worse than they treat like sergeants treat privates. You're doing God's work, Walker. It is pretty mind-blowing. Let me get my gear. That crosses out one extra thing I'd have to do today. So that works out for me. Together we can revive Age of Empires. That will be glorious. We don't even have to revive Age of Empires, we just have to revive the RTS genre. Do you... speaking of which, do you have Age of Empires 4? Because we can probably do 2s or something in Age of Empires 4. I understand 4 a little bit better than I understand 3. But either or is okay. Because I'm starting to figure out the cards. I'm just not good at like knowing what's a good deck and what's a bad deck. But the import cards, I'm starting to get used to them. So I've been using them, I just don't know which are actually good ones to use. Ooh, main scenario quest is 50 tomes. Sure, I'm down. It's funny because back in the day I used to pray for Praetorium because it gives the most amount of EXP for the least amount of effort. But now I pray for Castrum because Castrum is like 50% faster than Praetorium. Ah, okay, yeah. So we can play it at some point, and that'll be pretty cool. I've been keeping tabs on the game. I haven't really played it much, but I've been keeping tabs on it. That sounds good. I think I played twos with Jasper at one point. We were adequate. We weren't that good. We weren't that good. We got scout rushed a lot. But in 4, I think if I were to go on the ladder, I either play as the Delhi or the English. The English are just most straightforward to play. English and the French. I think the French are more powerful, but the English had more convenience. It's more like there's just more convenience factor involved with playing as the English. Ah, okay. Yeah. There is also, whatchamacallit, there is also co-op historical battles in Age of Empires 2 right now. The fact that we don't have co-op historical battles for Age of Empires 4 is very sad. Very sad. Look, Age of Empires 4 doesn't even have scenario editor, and that makes me the biggest sad face, because one of the most ridiculous fun thing I used to do is just open up the scenario editor and like drop a bunch of units and watch them fight each other, because I thought that was the funnest thing in the world. Ah yes, you know, make friends, you know, make cuirassier, spam cuirassier and win, right? Just make a bunch of cuirassier, max out on cuirassiers, and you automatically win the game. To be fair, I can't blame that, because I basically do the same thing. I make Ashigaru musks and I add a flaming arrow. Is that really so much different than spamming cuirassiers? Cuirassiers are just so strong. My god, those things. It's not? Please don't tell me it's the villagers. I mean, the villagers, the French villagers, the boy, the whatever, were pretty strong too. But all I remember about the French was that cuirassiers killed everything. It was the villagers. I think the the villagers stronger and they could carry more, right? I think that was the perk. Yeah, the boys were good. The boys were really good, and I absolutely agree with that. What? They gather faster too? No, I didn't know about that. I thought I knew they were like substantially stronger. And I think they also carried more resources. But I didn't know that they actually gather stuff faster as well. But that's insane. That's so much stuff. Let's see, what was well, I remember the English. You would get a villager for you could get free villagers from building houses, and as the Turks or the Ottoman Empire, you just get free villagers. But the cool thing about the Japanese was that your shoguns, your unit, like hero unit shoguns, can make, can become barracks. They can just make Ashgaru mosques right on the battlefield, and that was it's like, oh hey, here comes 5 more Ashgaru mosques. What, rallying from the barracks? We don't need that. And the Dutch had the banks. The stupid freaking banks. Don't let them build those banks. Once they build the banks, it's all over. I think the first Age of Empires 3 campaign is Spanish, but I can't remember what Spanish specialized in. I think their pikes were good, and they had a card that allowed their melee units, like swordsmen and whatever, to be extra good. I mean, for the Chinese, it's easy. You turn on, you make Han banner units, and you just outmass your way to victory. Bruh, being able to spawn 5 Hussars at the same time, that would be kind of ridiculous. I never got brave enough to play any of the Native American civs, but I think I'd like to try, because they seem really fucking annoying. It's like, oh, here comes a raid. Oh, here comes a raid. I'm like, bruh, just leave me alone. Stop killing my villagers or settlers. Like, if you were French, the boys would actually do okay. But, like, I had Japanese villagers, so they didn't stand a chance. Train war dogs and jaguars that that sounds... Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. But... Are they actually any good? I think I'd rather just have, I'm the kind of person that builds... How do I say it? The way that I've always played Age games, I make no more than 3 types of units. And I'm more likely to spam 1 or 2 unit. Which is why I like the French, I can just build Cuirassier. I like the Japanese. Okay, so you're doing Ashigaru Musks. But you're adding in a little bit of Flaming Arrow. You're not adding in that many. But it's mostly Ashigaru Musks. And Chinese, you build just the Han Banner Army. And hopefully it works out for you. So... I think in all RTS games, especially Age of Empires, I preferred civilizations that gave me a clear path to what they want me to do. For example, in Age of Empires 2, or 3, the French were cavalry civs, and 4 I guess. They were like, you have strong knights, go build knights. Cuirassiers, paladins, whatever. You have good cavalry, build heavy cav. I'm like, okay. Now, if I get counterplayed by spears or something, I'll try to think of ways to counter the spears, archers or skirms in Age of Empires 2 and stuff. But I'll still build, you know, heavy calves because that's the kind of, you know, all of my game plan is. Yes, it's predictable, but at the same time, it's also so good that I think the last time I played Age of Empires 3 was when I was trying to go get all the achievements to unlock the United States, which I never did. I got through like 13 of them, and then I was like, fuck this, I'm done. Because they keep on asking you to do like weird ass shit, and I'm like, I don't play like that. The thing about Age of Empires 3 artillery is I can't remember which artillery is good for which things. I mean, I built falconets. That's or whatever they're called, falconets or whatever. But I built those. But I'm not actually sure which siege is. I know the Gatling gun is good against infantry, but I don't know what the other artilleries are actually, you know, good against. Oh, nice! Metal Wolf Chaos. How'd you do that? Did they come out with a patch or something, or you had to modify like the game files or something? Yeah, I just spammed the falconets and hopefully hope they win. Okay, T-Leo, thank you for hanging around. Have a good night, and I'll see you probably tomorrow. It's probably tomorrow. I'll be online tomorrow. Mm, I I always did like this, basically the siege hop play. I think it's something that carries over from me playing Terran in StarCraft 2. Basically, you have your siege tanks in the back and your marines trying to move forward to provide a barrier for your tanks so they don't get outflanked and stuff. I think, yeah, that's a lot of what I go back to in Age of Empires 2 and 4. You know, I would set up trebuchet and have like my long range trebuchet and have my units in front of it, and I'll try to push up that way, try to outrange the enemy, and basically force the engagement into my no man's land of siege weapons. I always find, at least in most games, having both cavalry and siege is a little bit, it's ideal, but a little bit unsustainable. Because cavalry usually requires a shit ton of gold, and likewise, siege requires even a bigger shit ton of gold, so you just never have enough gold to go around. You're basically almost mined out, and that's kind of how it is. Usually I pair siege up with some real cheap fodder unit. Usually it's like pikemen or musketeers or something like that. Yeah, the boys, you know, the boys are the basis of every single strong economy. The boys. That's a good nickname. The boys. Oh yeah, I heard. Basically, it's like a kind of some kind of Russian conscript, and then you had just build a ridiculous amount of them. Wait, doesn't the Chinese build their units in batches? I think, yeah, the Chinese also does banner armies, and they build their unit in batches. But it's like a combination of like this garbage unit and garbage unit number 1 and garbage unit number 2. Yeah, the Chinese built banner armies with like 3 spearmen and 2 crossbows or something like that. But I think they cost a little bit more, and they're really, I don't know if they're actually that good. But Stretlet, very good, very cost effective. And you can always throw more at it. If Stretlet is not solving your problem, you just simply throw more Stretlet at your problem until it solves itself. Alright. It's 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna get ready to go to bed for work tomorrow. I really appreciate you dropping by, Walker. Definitely hit me up with more of that Age of Empires talk sometime, and we can get something going, because I love the game. Anyways, I'm gonna head off for the night. So, thank you for everybody for hanging around. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Yada yada yada. I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time at around 7 o'clock. And good night. Bye bye.